Welcome to another episode of Limitless Trading. We wanted to set you up success for the week starting on the 21st. It's finally a longer week and we're heading into some earnings. So what do we want to see? We want to see if this compression here that we had talked about with this large candle, will this turn out to be a bull flag? Will this compression just turn out to be a bull trap where we actually closed under about the 5400 resistance line? We said that this was a resistance at about 54.85. If that rejected not once after the pause tariff, but it rejected again. It tried to come up for liquidity, rejected again. The support at 5400 broke down on the daily. The market tried to defend about 5250. Didn't quite get back to 5212. But we in fact closed on OPEX. We closed under the 5400 support, and we're compressing. So we want to see two things. I tell people, just be very cautious about when you're in no man's land. I would personally rather see, for example, a risk on if we break out of 5400, right? Then you take a long, hold the stop loss, and let's see if the 5480-ish breaks out. Remember, I said that the three wise men are up here at 5630s that want to get out, right? These three longs that thought Liberation Day was going to be liberating are still trapped. And then amongst a lot of bulls that were bullish from the election, right, are still stuck up here. They have cut to take losses? Yes. But historically, I've seen in my 20 years that most players, what they'll do is, for example, they'll sell calls or they'll sell puts against their holdings to reduce their cost basis. And then when there's a potential squeeze, because eventually S&P 500 and futures will eventually, like I told you, get up to the 6,600 area. We have dark pools up there. May take 3 or 4 years. This could be a long, burning process because we know that we have 3,500 targets coming very, very soon. Some players, some information we're getting is that the market's going to roll over like a ton of bricks between July and August. But in the meantime, we want to see if this compression fails and this low of 5250 or 5212 breaks down, we're going collapsing. We're going to break down 5035. We're going to retest this support line at 5072. I strongly believe we're going to break right through it, come to 5700, and just roll over like a ton of bricks, and then make this bear flag, turn this into actually a double top, which I think is kind of right here, and then continue to the downside. But let's give bulls some credit because we're oversold, and this does look like a bull flag. Again, what you want to see is a breakout first of 5400 that says market makers are stepping in, and then a breakout of about 5480. Now, once it breaks out, if you're long, you want to run your stop losses. Don't start going long because, these guys have to get out. These guys can get out in 4 years from now, for all we know. So if you take a long at 5570s area, all the way up to 630, you're running your stop loss. And then we want to see if by May 6th, by FOMC, do we start turning this area into support and then work, north into June and July, right? Where the bearish trend is probably not going to end until June 24th, which I suspect we're going to be around here. We're going to probably be back here after FOMC into cooling off into June, and maybe taking off. If not, we could easily intersect down here on August 1st, so on and so forth. We do have a pivot coming up on the 29th of April, which again could be that we're just down here or that we're kind of tapping this area, turning this into support. We're probably going to have a low this week, 25th, which coincides with some of the earnings that may come in through this week, and then have a topping pattern into the 29th. So our next pivot is actually the 25th Friday, which should be a low, and then go bullish into at least Monday or Tuesday, the 28th, 29th. So those are the pivots we're looking at in terms of if there's a low, we'll come up. So let's just say hypothetically, we're down here at the 5012 or coming back to the 5030, 5035 or lower area, that the market may come up, keep bouncing, and then break out later. On the smaller time frame, we closed and defended 5250 again. That was a test of the previous week. But you don't see a strong breakout. What you're seeing is consolidation. Now, excuse me, this consolidation could be a breakout to the upside back to 53.77 on the smaller time frame, or 54.28, which gap filled already. And again, we have gaps all the way in the 5600 area. And we have this the trend line that we told you rejected prior, which is around 54.20, and then the support down here at 50.10. So this is a huge range. I say just play it small, play it tight. If we defend again 52.50, or maybe we come down to like 51.87, you could take your longs, because again, on the daily, we're possibly compressing into a bull flag that can break out. Maybe some good news comes out, right? We're suspecting that that POTUS is going to throw in the towel on the China deal, because they're going to win the trade war, and then we'll break out, and then we have actually some major catalysts coming that is probably going to collapse the market. But again, let's trade the level. So wait for a support to hold, and then risk on, or at least if this trend line 5400 becomes support, risk on a little bit. Because listen, we told everybody to go long down here when everybody was super bearish. We said, hey, someone's buying this up, and what a coincidence that there was a pause caused, and we caught it too. We caught the information as well. We'll play with POTUS. But we also said don't stay very long. If this rejects, let it go, because the market is not convinced. The market, if it was completely convinced, we would already be up here at 56.30 and getting these folks out, right? Why aren't we already squeezing? The market doesn't feel 100%, and there's other catalysts like a VIX player into October, betting the VIX is gonna go to new highs. But again, on the smaller time frame, let us support retest like 52.50, 51.87, maybe even something lower. Let it back test 50.20. Just let the market give you an entry, and then play level by level. Don't be greedy in this consolidation, because we could easily consolidate. For example, here we consolidated and broke out and broke down. So not every consolidation is going to break up. It could come down. And historically, after Easter, the market has been bearish up until that following Thursday or Friday, which may coincide with some major Mag 7 earnings. So play one level at a time. If you want to learn the tools that we're doing, comment course below, or email us in our description and let us know. We'll teach this to you, or you can join our trade group, which has excellent risk management and excellent ideas. Good luck.